Welcome to the Wisdom Path. If you're looking for strength, direction, and a powerful way to live life with purpose, you're in the right place. In today's story, we'll explore how to think like a warrior, not a fighter, but a person with a strong, unshakable mindset. This story will show you how inner strength, belief, and discipline can change your life. If you find value here, don't forget to subscribe and walk this path with us every week. Let's begin. The story of Kai, the ordinary man who learned to think like a warrior. Kai was an ordinary man. He worked long hours at a job he didn't love, paid bills, and tried to keep everything together. But deep inside, he felt tired of surviving, tired of being afraid to chase something more. One night, after another long, disappointing day, he sat alone in his apartment. He turned off his phone, closed his eyes, and whispered, "There has to be more than this." That was the moment something changed. Not outside, but inside. He decided to stop waiting for life to improve. He decided to become someone different, someone stronger. That night, Kai wrote one sentence on a piece of paper. "I will think like a warrior." Lesson 1. Your mindset is your weapon. The next morning, Kai made a promise. He would no longer let fear or excuses control him. Just like a warrior going into battle, Kai knew he needed the right armor. But this armor wasn't metal, it was mental. A warrior doesn't run from the storm. He walks into it, knowing that the battle will make him better. The greatest battles we fight are not against others, he wrote in his notebook, but against the small, scared voice in our own head. From that day on, Kai trained his mind like a soldier trains his body. Lesson 2. Build your inner beliefs. A true warrior stands on 5 powerful beliefs. Kai learned them step by step, and you can too. Self-belief. You don't need permission to believe in yourself. Kai stopped waiting for someone to say, "You're good enough." He started saying it to himself. Every morning he looked in the mirror and said, "You've got this, one step at a time." 1. Purpose. Warriors don't fight just for survival, they fight for something greater. Kai asked himself, "What do I want my life to mean?" He didn't have all the answers, but he started writing down the things that lit his soul on fire. To help others, to live free, to become strong. This gave his days new energy. Second, discipline. Kai didn't feel motivated every day, but he learned something powerful. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. He started waking up earlier, exercising, and reading for 20 minutes a day. Small steps, big change. 3. Resilience. Some days were still hard. He failed, he fell. But he got back up, again and again. Pain, he thought, isn't the enemy. Quitting is. Like a tree in the wind, he bent, but he didn't break. 4. Courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action despite fear. Kai started saying yes to things that scared him, speaking in meetings, reaching out for help, and every time he did, his fear grew smaller. A quick metaphor: the storm and the rock. Think of yourself like a rock in the middle of a stormy sea. The waves crash, the wind howls, but the rock doesn't move. It stays grounded. Your beliefs are your rock. If they are strong, no storm can shake you. Kai wasn't fearless. He was focused. He didn't wait for life to be easy. He decided to become stronger than the difficulty. Tony Robbins once said, "It's not the events of our lives that shape us, but our beliefs about what those events mean." That became Kai's truth. When something went wrong, he didn't say, "Why me?" He asked, "What is this teaching me?" Your takeaway today. Ask yourself, do I believe in myself even when others don't? Do I have a purpose I fight for each day? Am I building discipline through my habits? Do I rise after I fall? Can I take one brave step today, even if I'm afraid? If the answer is not yet, don't worry. Every warrior starts somewhere. Like Kai, your journey begins the moment you decide, I will think like a warrior. This is just the beginning. In the next part, we'll go deeper into how Kai learned to see challenges as his teachers, not enemies. If you felt inspired today, please subscribe to the Wisdom Path and walk this journey of strength and growth with us. Remember, you are stronger than you think, and the warrior within you is ready to rise. In part 2, we'll walk with Kai as he learns how to face life's storms and turn his struggles into strength. If you're ready to stop seeing problems as enemies and start using them as tools for growth, keep watching. The day everything went wrong. One morning, a big project at Kai's job completely collapsed. A client canceled last minute. The team blamed him. His boss was angry. He went home with a heavy heart. The old Kai would have broken down, maybe even quit. But now, he had a warrior's mindset. He sat down, took a deep breath, and asked himself, what is life trying to teach me right now? That question changed everything. Lesson 3. Challenges are not the enemy. Here's something many people don't realize. Challenges are not punishments. They are teachers. Kai thought back to his childhood. When he first learned to ride a bike, he fell hard. He scraped his knees and wanted to cry. But after a few more tries, he got it, and he never forgot how to ride. That pain wasn't failure. It was part of the learning. It's the same in life. Each problem is like a weight at the gym. It feels heavy, but lifting it makes you stronger. A short story, The Wise Farmer. An old story tells of a farmer whose horse ran away. His neighbor said, "What bad luck?" The farmer replied, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returned, bringing 3 wild horses with it. The neighbor said, "What good luck?" The farmer replied again, "Maybe." Then the farmer's son broke his leg while trying to ride one of the wild horses. The neighbor said, "What bad luck?" The farmer said, "Maybe." Later, soldiers came to take young men to war, but the son was not chosen because of his injury. The lesson? You never know what's truly good or bad in the moment. What feels like a setback today could be your biggest setup for growth. Lesson 4. Develop emotional intelligence. Kai realized something powerful. If he wanted to face life like a warrior, he had to learn how to control his emotions. Not hide them, understand them. When we get angry, scared, or frustrated, those feelings are messengers. They're like alarm bells in the mind saying, "Something needs your attention." Instead of reacting, Kai started responding. He took deep breaths. He wrote down what he felt. He learned to ask himself, why am I feeling this way? What can I learn from this emotion? What's the most powerful thing I can do next? It was like learning to steer a ship in the middle of a storm. The waves were there, but he was in control of the wheel. Lesson 5. Take ownership of your life. One night, Kai was talking to his friend, Maya. She had just lost her job and was blaming everyone. Her boss, the company, the economy. Kai listened quietly. Then he said, "I get it. But what if you took 100% responsibility? Not for what happened, but for what you'll do next." She frowned. "Are you saying it's my fault?" "No," he said. "I'm saying it's your power." That's the difference between victims and warriors. Victims wait, complain, blame. Warriors act, reflect, grow. A garden, metaphor, planting change. Imagine your life as a garden. If weeds grow, you can blame the rain, the wind, or the bad soil. Or you can pick up a shovel and start planting something better. Kai started taking action. He asked for feedback at work. He started a side project that excited him. He let go of things and people that dragged him down. he learned this truth. You don't need permission to grow. You just need to begin. Denzel Washington once said, "Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship." Kai wrote that on a sticky note and placed it above his desk. Whenever things got tough, he remembered, hardship isn't a wall, it's a door. If you keep pushing, it opens. Ask yourself, what recent challenge is trying to teach me something? How can I respond, not react, when emotions run high? Am I blaming others or taking back my power? What one small action can I take today to grow? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to choose not to give up. Kai is starting to rise, not because life got easier, but because he got stronger. In the final part, we'll see how he surrounds himself with the right people, embraces failure, and commits to growing for life. So if you're walking your own warrior path, subscribe to the Wisdom Path now and stay with us. Because your best days are ahead, and your warrior spirit is already waking up. Now, in the final part of his journey, we'll explore how the people around us, our view of failure, and our commitment to learning shape the kind of warrior we become. If this story has inspired you so far, make sure to subscribe and keep walking with us on the path to wisdom, courage, and purpose. Let's begin. Lesson 6. Build your warrior circle. Kai once believed he had to do everything alone. But then he noticed something. Every time he tried to grow, someone would pull him back. One friend told him, "You've changed. You think you're better than us now?" That hurt. But Kai realized it wasn't about him. It was about their fear of growth. So he made a brave decision. He started choosing who he spent time with on purpose. He asked himself, does this person lift me up or drag me down? Do they believe in growth or in staying stuck? Do they challenge me with love or criticize me with fear? He wasn't rude or cold. He just created space for people who inspired him, not drained him. Your environment is like soil. If you plant yourself in dry, toxic dirt, you won't grow. But in rich, supportive soil, you'll bloom. A real-life example, the climbing partner. Imagine two people climbing a mountain. One keeps saying, "We'll never make it. Let's turn back." The other says, "One more step. I've got your back." Who do you want on your mountain? Kai started finding mentors. He read books. He joined a group of like-minded people. He even created a morning routine where he listened to encouraging voices like Brian Tracy and Joe Dispenza. He fed his mind with strength, and that made all the difference. Lesson 7. Embrace failure like a warrior. One of Kai's biggest lessons came from a big failure. He launched his side project, and it completely flopped. No customers, no interest, no results. At first, he was crushed, but then he remembered what he'd written months ago. Failure is not the end, it's feedback. So he asked, what worked? What didn't? What will I do differently next time? Warriors don't avoid failure. They study it, learn from it, then try again, stronger. Failure is like fire. It can burn you, or it can forge you. A story. The Broken Sword. There's an old tale of a young warrior who broke his sword in battle. He cried, thinking it was the end. But the village blacksmith took the broken pieces and made something better, a stronger, sharper blade. The warrior went back to the fight, not with fear, but with confidence. Why? Because he had already failed once and survived. Kai did the same. He adjusted his plan. And the second time, his project began to grow. Lesson 7. Embrace failure like a warrior. One of Kai's biggest lessons came from a big failure. He launched his side project, and it completely flopped. No customers, no interest, no results. At first, he was crushed. But then he remembered what he'd written months ago. Failure is not the end. It's feedback. So he asked, "What worked? What didn't? What will I do differently next time?" Warriors don't avoid failure. They study it, learn from it, then try again, stronger. Failure is like fire. It can burn you, or it can forge you. A story, The Broken Sword. There's an old tale of a young warrior who broke his sword in battle. He cried, thinking it was the end. But the village blacksmith took the broken pieces and made something better, a stronger, sharper blade. The warrior went back to the fight, not with fear, but with confidence. Why? Because he had already failed once and survived. Kai did the same. He adjusted his plan, and the second time, his project began to grow. A final reflection. Look in the mirror. Kai once looked in the mirror and saw a man who felt stuck. Now he saw a warrior, not because he was perfect, but because he kept going. You might be standing in front of your own mirror today. Maybe you feel tired. Maybe you failed. Maybe you're just beginning. Wherever you are, remember this. The warrior you want to become is already inside you. You don't have to fight the whole war today. You just have to take the next step. Ask yourself, who's in my circle? Do they support my growth? What can I learn from my latest failure? How can I grow just a little bit today? Growth doesn't require perfection. It requires commitment. Brian Tracy once said, "You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control your attitude toward what happens to you." Your mindset is your shield. Your beliefs are your armor. And your actions, they are your sword. Keep sharpening all three. Thank you for joining this journey with the Wisdom Path. If you've watched all three parts of Think Like a Warrior, you've just taken a powerful step forward. Remember, you are stronger than you think. Challenges are not the end. They are your classroom. The journey is yours to walk, but you are never alone. Make sure to subscribe to the Wisdom Path for more inspiring stories, practical wisdom, and life-changing lessons. Now go out there, not just to survive, but to live like a warrior. One thought, one step, one day at a time.